Sorry about running late, guys. Had some technical difficulty. Thank you for sticking around. Let's get this camera set up here. Did I read the GoPro manual? No. Am I prepared to use the GoPro? Not even. So am I using the GoPro today? No. Did I just hit the Bixby button? Yeah. All right. Do I have this feed on the computer? Nah, I do not. Got some more boxes. See if I can get the feed up here. Running behind. Terribly sorry, guys. I really am. How y'all doing? I wonder if the weather is warming up for you all on the southern hemisphere, because it's definitely cooling down for us up here in the northern hemisphere. Definitely warm, cooling down. I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. I thought it was a pretty good movie. There was 2 scenes in it that went longer than it should have. I was literally like, okay, I get the point. Move on. I would say that if you're a fan of the original franchise, you will like this. I feel that they did the original franchise perfect justice. Um, it's sad that Harold Ramis wasn't alive to see this iteration come to existence. Because if I remember correctly, he created the original Ghostbusters. I might be wrong there. I think that's what I remember being told at one point. So I enjoyed it. I never saw the Ghostbusters reboot, or whatever you want to call it, that came out a few years back. Um, so I can't comment, can't give an opinion on it. So I never saw it. But I would definitely call this a sequel to the original Ghostbusters, for fact. I would definitely say that that's the case. And I would definitely say that they did a good job. I did not watch Zack Snyder's Suicide Squad, which I think was my homework assignment. So I was bad there. So I get a big 0 on that until my work's completed. I need to watch that. I did watch all of season 1 of The Umbrella Academy. I was telling you last week that I was in 3 or 4 episodes and I still had no idea who it was I was supposed to be paying attention to, who was more or less the main character of this team of heroes. And I believe I would say that it wasn't until the 6th episode when it came pretty clear who the show really is about. It really is about a team, just like Justice League or any team. There's multiple players that make the team, and every one of them are required for there to be a team. But there's always kind of a main story that one of them follow. You know, Superman may be in charge of the Justice League, or Captain America may be in charge of the Avengers, but Tony Stark funds the Avengers more or less, and Batman more or less funds the Justice League. So, there's always more than one person that's really in charge of the whole thing. So there really is the whole group of them in the Umbrella Academy that make it function. And from my understanding, this is following a creation from um, Dark Horse Comics, I think is what they say every time you read it. So it's a comic story as well. And I don't mean comic as in haha funny comic. I mean comic like Marvel Comics, DC Comics. So it's a pretty interesting show. I started watching season 2 on that, and plan to watch the rest of that. Let's see, what else have I got going? Oh, okay, here we go. We got a feed. Toy Mafia, how you doing? Jake, good morning. How y'all doing? Good, good, good. Pulled the trigger on my first Star Wars figure. Hell yeah. Like you, I have been trying not to start down that. I know. It's that path that once you go down it, if you're like me, you're buying another house just to house your Star Wars figures. When I have to have a whole other room for all of my Star Wars figures. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Mando with the child. Oh my goodness. That's a good looking figure. And I'll tell you, I also did the same thing. Even though I've watched reviews on this figure, and which I normally don't do, I watched reviews on this figure and nothing is really positive about it, but it's just a cool figure. So I ordered the General Grievous, and just because I've always thought he was a cool character from the beginning, I ordered General Grievous, and he fits in with nothing. He doesn't follow any pre-Star Wars thing that I have at all. But I ordered General Grievous, so I imagine he'll be coming shortly, thereabouts. So I guess they're shipping them now or something. So I know. Mini Mick, how you doing? Good morning. California. That's right, that's where I'm at. I'm in California. Sunny California. We're in the rainy season now. We get no rain all summer, and then it starts. And that's when we need it. So I'm glad to have it. So let's see, what else? What else do I talk about? I guess that's it. There wasn't that many people at the theater for Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I was kind of disappointed. And I was curious if it's because maybe they didn't tell you enough about the movie in the trailers, which I think they did a good job of not explaining anything about the movie in the trailers. For real. What they tell you is enough to get you in there to watch it. And I think that's a good idea, because it's nice to have it unfolded to you. And as a matter of fact, I was not going to watch the new Spider-Man trailer, the 3-minute trailer, whatever it is, that was dropped earlier this week, I think it was, because I was like, no, I know enough about the movie. I don't want anything to be ruining anything else. Well, they played it at the movie, and I didn't shun my eyes, so I watched it. And of course, I'm excited. And of course, I'm excited for Morbius also. I had to do some research on Morbius because I'd never understood Morbius. I never followed any of that portion of Marvel. For the most part, like I've told you before, or I might have mentioned, Spider-Man was where I stayed in the Marvel line. And anytime there was a crossover, I would buy the 2 or 3 comics that would cross over with that and get the whole spiel of it. And I think Morbius was in Spider-Man 101, Amazing Spider-Man 101, I don't remember. And but I never really understood who or what Morbius was, so I had to do some research on that. And I'm pretty excited about the Morbius movie. It's a Sony movie, so it's tied to Venom and Spider-Man in that regards. And it looks exciting, looks good. Look forward to that. And of course, Spider-Man. Totally looking forward to that. I don't think they gave away too much. I think they explained that the multiverses are joining. So, of course, a lot of the fans are hoping for an Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire reunion with Tom Holland, and I think that would be great as well. They obviously have Dr. Octopus in. Oh God, what's his name? The actor. Come on, you guys, you know who I'm talking about. I have that Doc Ock. I love it, and which was made by Toys Era. Is that who made that Doc Ock? It's great. It's a great figure, and uh, so it'd be nice to see that happen. And I'm hoping that it's going to be an Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire matchup. That'd be great. That'd be great. And let's see what else. Let's see what else. Um, I'll probably be ordering my Corvette next month, so we have that to look forward to. They will require at that point, I believe it's going to be a 10% down payment of the purchase price of the vehicle. I keep changing my plans every time I log on to the website. I log into Chevrolet Build Your Corvette site. I don't remember whether it's GM.com or Chevrolet.com where you get to build a Corvette, just like you can any car there. And every time I go about, I end up clicking on something different or changing my mind. I think the only thing that's solid on it is I'm going to go with the red metallic. So I'm about 99% positive on that. And I think I'm going to go with the natural dipped leather interior, which is the like a tan, and that's the Napa leather, not the Mulan leather. And I'll tell you the difference between the Mulan leather and the Napa leather. The Napa leather on the GT1 seats is bonded leather. And if you don't know what bonded leather is, I'm going to recommend that you Google that and then ask yourself, is this the leather I want on my sports car, my $60,000 plus sports car? $60,000 is where the Corvette starts, 63,000, I think. So on a $100,000 vehicle, do you want bonded leather seats? I don't think so. So it's going to be really interesting to see how bonded leather lasts in these Corvettes. I imagine if you took really extra special care of it and got out there and worked that leather all the time, kept it from getting hard and brittle, you'll probably be okay. I'm going to tell you there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to do that. The Napa leather is real leather, and so I'll be going with the Napa leather. And the I think it's a GT1, GT2, GT3, or LT1, LT2, LT3. I forget what the packages are now, but the third level is where you get the dipped, and that's where they also color the dashboard the same color as the interior of the car. If you do the 2 or the 1, the dashboard is black, and then the interior of the car is whatever color you choose, red or yellow or light gray or blue or black or white or whatever that they have available to you. But if you do the third trim and choose the dipped, the dash is also that color. So I'm not sure if I want to do black or the tan. I'm pretty sure I'm leaning towards the tan with the GT2 seats, because the GT3 seats are more for gripping you and holding you in your seat. And I'm a big guy. I'm not going to fit in a seat that has side bolsters that are only this far apart. So I have to go with the GT2 seat, which will give me the Napa leather. And the GT1 seat is the Mulan leather. So I'll be going with the GT2 seat that doesn't have such a tough, stiff side bolster on it. And I'm definitely getting the raising front of it, because pulling into my driveway, if I don't turn the car sideways and drive out of the driveway that way, I scrape. So I'm definitely going to be doing it with the Corvette. So I'm going to be doing that. I really need to have the driveway dug up and repaved. However, concrete's gotten ridiculously stupidly priced in the last couple of years. I should have had it done a couple of years ago when it was still relatively inexpensive to have a entire concrete driveway poured again. I have a pretty long driveway. So we're looking at, back then, they quoted me anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 to have the driveway poured. That tells you, if you know anything about that, that tells you how long that is. Nowadays, I imagine it's probably double that, between $10,000 and $20,000, depending on who it is that I contact. That's a lot of money to put into a driveway. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that you don't get an initial reinvestment back on that. Your house is going to improve its value whether I replace the driveway or not. What's going to happen is when I decide to sell the home, the new owner or the new potential owner and or the realtor is going to be like, you need to replace this driveway. And I'll look at him and say, I didn't replace the driveway when I owned the house. I sure as hell ain't replacing the driveway when I sell the house. The next guy, if he wants to buy it, he can increase the price of the house the loan that he gets from his bank, and then finance the driveway in that manner. But I'm not doing it for him, or you're raising the price of the house for that driveway. That's how that works. So that's my dilemma. Do I fix the driveway so I don't drag the Corvette front end off? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to fix the driveway. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to drive the Corvette home. That ain't going to happen. And what I'm really concerned with is, do I want to get the Z51 package? So before the Z06, the Z51 package would have been the top of the food chain in regards to the Corvette performance. And now with the Z06, with the Z07 package, it totally makes the Z51 like a nothing in that regards. So I don't know if I want to get the Z51 or not at this point. One of the things I was concerned about is, for instance, my Bumblebee Camaro, being a muscle car, is a rough ride down city streets. You feel every bump and every dip and every crack in the road. You feel them all. And in the Mercedes, just smoothly drives over everything. As a matter of fact, it's got some sort of predictive technology built into it where it reads the road, and if it sees a bump or a dip, the car adjusts the suspension to try to smooth that bump or dip out. It does a pretty good job of it. So I really enjoy riding the Mercedes. So I was watching a video. I've been watching every video I can on the Corvettes and the Z06s. And Edmunds, the Edwards or Edmunds, forget the website. That it's either Edwards or Edmunds. They did a comparison between their 2020 blue Corvette C8 Stingray R that they had bought and the brand new Z06, and they compared the ride of the two of them, because obviously the Z06 Z07 is the Z06 with the Z07 package, which is what this prototype was, is going to be their most track ready package, and even with the magnetic ride suspension in it. And they said they'd got the magnetic ride on the 2020, and that it rode, in their opinion, and they're a car reviewing company and car sales company, they said in their opinion that Corvette with that magnetic ride suspension rode smoother than a lot of luxury cars. So I don't anticipate it to ride as smooth as my Mercedes, but that was nice to hear. So what I think I'm probably going to do is, I'm thinking I'm probably going to skip the Z51 package, definitely get the magnetic ride. But I don't know, the Z51 package still comes with a lot of suspension and brakes, and I think it's an extra 5 horsepower or something of power to it. And when you're talking about somebody as big as I am, even though I'm not be racing it against anybody, that 5 horsepower gets gobbled up in carrying this mass that I am. So it's a big difference. And it's funny, my Camaro was the first year Camaro, 2010, and it's 2SS RS with the Transformer Edition package in it. CTH is the ordering code for that. And I think with the automatic L99 engine, and the LS3 and L99, the only difference between them is the LS3 went in the stick shifts, the L99 went in the automatic, and they had to detune the automatic because it was faster than the LS3. So the LS3, I think, has 426 horsepower, and I think the L99 has 410 or something like that, 415. But it's faster than the LS3 powered stick shift. The automatic is. Not when I'm driving it, because it has to carry my weight. What was funny was belonging to a couple of the local Camaro clubs, a few of the local Camaro clubs, sports car clubs. We do cruises and car shows and whatnot, and we will meet up in different spots depending on where it is that we're heading to do our cruise or whichever car show or event that we're going to. We'll meet up first in the morning and then all drive out together. Instead of just showing up at the event one by one sporadically, we'll bring a whole row of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 Camaros or whatever that we're bringing in, which is people like to see that, and or going down the highway, you know, a whole row of Corvettes or Camaros or whatever going down the road. So this was probably in 2019 before the pandemic, and one of the guys in the group had a brand new ZL1 Camaro, which I don't remember what the horsepower on that is. I think it's 575 or something insane like that. So we're pulling out of the parking lot, getting onto the on-ramp onto the interstate to travel to the event that we were going to. It was several cities down. We were traveling the interstate, and we're all driving out, and I'm behind the ZL1 in a 2019 ZL1 or whatever it was, and I'm in a 2010 2SS RS, which at that time was the fastest one that you could buy straight from the store, from the factory, from the dealership Camaro. And he stands on it, I stand on it, and he just pulls away from me like as if I was sitting still. And that's the big difference between 410 versus 575. And it's quite a humbling experience. Quite a humbling experience when that happens. Anyhow, that's where all of that is. Let's see, what else have I got going on? Daggeransis, good morning. Got the body swap done for Antifa from Final Fantasy VII. I will have to send. Yes, please. Facebook Messenger me, please. I like getting the pictures that you guys send me. So I have 5 packages here. I ordered a new PC. That should be coming in a week. I normally build my computers, but I was being lazy this time, so I ordered a really grunty computer from Meta PC, and that'll be coming probably within a week. So I'm looking forward to that. What I decided to do was to buy a new mouse and keyboard, and I'm not sure if I'm going to buy a new monitor or not. I've got several monitors here at the house, but I'm going to take my main computer that I'm using in the other room and make it the computer I use in here. Take this laptop, probably toss it in the gosh darn garbage. I've hated this thing as long as we've had it. And then put the new Meta PC in the other room. But I decided to try this new style of mouse that I've never seen before. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I don't know what I'll think about it. It's made by Logitech, called the MX Vertical. And so they claim that it's the ergonomic way of holding a mouse. So ever since they created the mouse, which by the way was invented by Xerox at the Palo Alto Research Center, and the reason it was called a mouse was because on the old CRT tubes, when you moved this around and it moved the cursor, the dot, on the screen, there was a trail because of the CRT tube that followed it, so it looked like a mouse moving around on the screen. It's not because of the shape of the mouse or the wire that was attached. That's not why it was called that. It was called that because of the design on the screen. As you moved this device, this pointer around, the cursor, the pointer on the screen resembled a mouse as it moved around. That's why it was called that. So anyhow, the mouse has been, for the most part, shaped like this ever since. And you get a trackball, you could use a touchpad, you could use pins, but now they've decided they wanted to try it in this manner. So I'm going to see how that works. So they've literally taken the mouse and turned it on its side as such. So you'll hold the mouse in this manner. So as I was watching the video on it, I was sitting there and was resting my arm in this way and this way and this way and this way, and I was, gosh, I don't know, maybe this feels a little more natural. And then I was thinking, I don't know how difficult it is really to do this, and it feels about the same. So this is the first time me taking it out of the box and actually looking at it. And it's MX Vertical. I think it was $100. So I'm going to give it a shot and see how this works out. But It has the capability to tie into 3 different computers, which Logitech does now with a lot of their new devices. I don't know if it has dark field technology. This one has dark field, which means you can actually do it on a glass table. It doesn't have to be on a solid surface where it has to read back. It can literally work on transparent glass. And I don't know whether it's rechargeable. I'm assuming it is. I don't know. So there's the plug in the front. So I'm assuming it's rechargeable. A lot of times what they've done now is they've made it so the batteries can't be removed out of them when you recharge it. So you're recharging a capacitor or a built-in battery instead of a battery that you take out and can replace later on down the road. So I also ordered another K800 keyboard, which are my favorite keyboards, which is a backlit sensing keyboard. It can sense when your fingers are over it, and it's wireless, and it can be all integrated into the mouse and the keyboard. Can all be used on one USB device. So this is the mouse that I'll be using on the new keyboard. This is one of the packages that came this week. Oh, did you see the Spider-Man figures are dropped for pre-order? The new Spider-Man figures from Far From Home. Good looking figure. Ordered 3 of those. And there is a 1/6 scale Vespa up for pre-order in 5 different colors. I think it was white, red, kind of a green, gray or silver, and I think a kind of a light blue. And of course, if you remember Deadpool famously riding a Vespa, so get you a red Vespa, put your Deadpool figure on it. I think also there was a Audrey Hepburn scene with her riding it. Maybe I'm telling you a story, but I think for some reason I remember Audrey Hepburn riding a Vespa, something. Get you a Vespa. Nothing else, put your Barbie dolls on it. Believe it or not, I finally, probably because they already mailed them to everyone else on the planet, Sideshow finally sent me my Mark 49 Pepper Potts Rescue. And again, you guys know where I stand on this. This is not Tony Stark's Mark 49 suit. It's Pepper Potts' Rescue Mark 49 suit. It's the 49th iteration of the Rescue line of suits. She's had 48 other Rescue suits. It's not the missing Mark 49 in the Tony Stark lineup. I 100% will stand behind my opinion on that forever and a day. And nowhere on it does it have the Roman numerals. It says 0049. That's what it says on there. Don't need to open one, so I already got one. Because Big Bad Toy Store sent it to me before Sideshow did. And I'm pretty sure Big Bad Toy Stores buy theirs from Sideshow. I ordered them both on the same day. One from Big Bad Toy Store, one from Sideshow. Big Bad Toy Store said, "Here you go." Sideshow said, "We don't have any. We're not shipping them yet. Sorry. Can't help you. After we get them to everyone else in the world, we'll send them to you." I've got 2 boxes here that I don't know what they are. And I've got this box. So let's open this box, which I think I know what this is. I think I know what this is. Something else I'm going to have to read so I know how to operate the gosh darn thing. This is a pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarer Stories POV camera sunglasses. They have them in several colors, several tints. You can get them prescription if you need. It says Ray-Ban Facebook on the top there. Comes with a little hard plastic case. Download the Facebook View app. It says on it. Not a fan of Facebook. A lot of people are not a fan of Facebook anymore, but I guess you have to use the Facebook View app. Don't know if there's something else in here or not. I'll read the instructions to see if there's something else in there. And then I got the large because I have a big head. This is a charging base for it. So there's a USB port goes there. I was wondering why there's those little connectors inside of it. And that's why. It must be how you charge it up. But you wear these like you would any pair of Ray-Bans. And these are the photosensitive lenses, so they darken in the sun. And then you would turn them on up here, and then the cameras will start recording. And there's a little light that pops up that lets people know that you're recording with the camera. So POV cameras, you wear them, and they'll record what you're facing as you do. So I'm looking forward to this, these Ray-Bans. See how that turns out. And that's how they will fit in the case to be charged up. And they have several colors. You can get tortoise or blue, I believe green, different lens options. If you have prescription lenses, you can get them to fit your prescription. So that came. And then we got the two boxes here that I don't know what are. This is from Big Bad Toy Store. And it's not that I don't know what it is, because people give me stuff for free, because they don't. I buy all this. I just don't keep track of it anymore. I used to keep track of everything. I mean, for real. I kept track of everything. And I could tell you where anything was, how much I paid for it, how much I've paid taxes and shipping and rebates, and what day I ordered it on, and what day they said it was coming, and what day it actually came, what the shipping label was on it. I mean, everything. Ever since my wife passed on, I kind of just kind of let stuff slide by the wayside. A couple of Fisons. They're TV leagues. S39 and S32A. Do I have these already? I do. So what did I order them for? So the S39 is a suntan large breast interchangeable foot, 34D 2838 measurements, and I put my Velma figure on it. So the S39 is the shorter, more realistic looking figure, if you remember. Um, Velma from Scooby Doo looks well with this figure. So I bought this to have one in addition to that one that I use for Velma. So this is my backup now. And the S32A is a pale skin, medium breast, interchangeable foot with 32A is 28D 2434 was her measurements. And what did I do with this? I don't have anything that I've done with this. Must have done something with this. I don't have anything listed that I did with it. The notes on the 32A is realistic body proportions, narrow shoulders, long legs. Same as S35. So the S35 is who we use for Daphne. So essentially I reordered Daphne and Velma. Now I think I changed Daphne out with a different one later. I think Daphne became a different one. I also have a note on here saying that I was going to use Joy seamless feet for this, the S35. This is interchangeable, and the S35 is the seamless. So the S32 is the interchangeable feet, and the S35 is the seamless foot. So that's what this one is. So that's what that is. And the other thing that came in I don't know who this came from. It may have come from 1/6 Outfitters. I don't remember. Oh, by the way, did you see the Squid Games figures? If you buy one figure, comes with the ability to make either the guard, um, the manager, or the worker. So you get three face plates: the circle, the triangle, and the square. So you can make whichever one you want, or you can build a whole fleet of them. And I think they're like more or less $150 each. So if you want to make you a fleet of Squid Games soldiers, if you will. I really enjoyed Squid Games. Really enjoyed it, and I'm waiting for season 2. I mean, totally waiting for season 2. It's I hate that, when you absolutely enjoy a movie or show so much you didn't have to wait for the second one. And it's really what happened with Squid Games. I watched Squid Games and I was like, oh my god, let's hurry up and get this next one coming out. What an amazing show. Really enjoyed that. TE032 Toys era, right? 032. What is that? What is the TE032? The Mando Luke. Oh my God. Right? Jesus. You know, that scene in that show, you know, I guess you have to remind yourself, at what point was it when you realized it was Luke, you know? And I had a pretty good suspicion right in the very beginning when I suppose it's okay to talk about it. The gosh darn show was out a year ago or something, wasn't it? If you've not seen Mandalorian by now, you're really missing the boat. So I don't mind spoiler alert. There's no spoiler alert on it. If you haven't seen it by now, shame on you. Sorry to say. You can't call yourself a Star Wars fan in any circumstance and not have watched Mandalorian. I don't care. I don't care how angry you may be at Kathleen Kennedy or how hardcore you are about the original series of Star Wars, 4, 5, and 6 is what they call it now, or Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, which is what us old-timers knew it as. Now they call it A New Hope. Episode 4, New Hope. It was not called Episode 4, A New Hope. When you went to the movies and watched it back in 77, I think is when it was, it literally just said Star Wars. The Empire Strikes Back said Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. So, anyhow, you need to watch The Mandalorian. You need to watch The Mandalorian. That's all there is to it. You can't call yourself a Star Wars fan and not have watched The Mandalorian. That's the truth of the matter. It's absolutely the truth of the matter. It's done perfectly well. Oh God, what's his name? The guy that played... oh my God, I hate when I forget these people's names. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are the ones that are responsible for the Mandalorian series. Dave, I think, was an actor in one of the Star Wars, right? Wasn't he a Jedi in one of the first, not the first three that we know, the first three, but episodes 1, 2, or 3. I think he was one of the Jedi Masters, wasn't he? And then I think he was responsible for one of the animated series. So Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are responsible for The Mandalorian, and they have done it properly. They did it in the spirit of what is now coined episodes 4, 5, and 6. So it's done right. Kathleen Kennedy's got her fingers in there somehow, though. Her name's still in the gosh darn thing, but it's really not influenced by her at all. So, and if you remember, Favreau was the one that pretty much was the brains of the first Iron Man. Okay, I don't remember Feige was involved in the first Iron Man, was he? Maybe one of you guys might know, but Favreau was mostly responsible for the first Iron Man, and he's been happy in the franchise, the series of the MCU universe. Iron Man's bodyguard. So it's good to watch him progress in and continue in with the Spider-Man movies, helping Tom Holland's Peter Parker adjust to having the Edith software, or the glasses, for the Friday, right? Wasn't that the name of it? Friday? Wasn't Friday the girl in the suit, and then Edith is the glasses, right? All right, this is Human School for Gifted Young Generations. The Speed Silver 1/6 scale collectible figure. So, by Toys Era, PE TE032. Now, let me tell you, why did I get this? I've stayed away from the X-Men. I've seen the movies, and they're obviously Marvel. Um, I don't think I've got any X-Men figures in here. But I just steered clear from it because it's such a lost franchise. The franchise has no idea what freaking direction it was going in forever. That I wasn't sure what the hell I was going to do with it either. But, and again, there's no such thing as a spoiler alert here on talking about Scarlet Vision, because the gosh darn thing's like 7 months old or something. If you've not seen it by now, there's a problem with you. That Quicksilver from the X-Men universe of the rebirth of the X-Men universe with not Patrick Stewart, but McAvoy playing Professor X. That Quicksilver actor becomes the Scarlet Witch's brother, because if you remember, they killed Quicksilver, her brother, in Age of Ultron. So she recast her brother with this Quicksilver. So I decided he's now part of the MCU. So I decided to pick one up. So there you have it. That is now why I have decided to get the Quicksilver from the X-Men franchise, because he's been brought into the MCU. And boy, I got to tell you what, with this new Spider-Man movie coming out and the crossovers with that, I hope Hot Toys is ready to start cranking out some figures, because that's going to be a lot of villains. And I know Save On Mason is going to be very happy about that. Can't imagine for 1 second that Hot Toys wouldn't make the villains for that. Maybe they won't. Oh, I got notification from Juiced Jazz Inc. that my Michael Keaton Vulture is coming. Just waiting on that. I'm hoping for a positive experience with that. Really disappointed with the Land Speeder. Totally disappointed with the Land Speeder. Completely disappointed with the Land Speeder in many aspects. So there he is out of the box. And no, this is not how he appeared in WandaVision. Get everything out of the box, then we'll have a look at him. If we can get him to stand up on himself here. Hopefully he'll stand. Comes with an alternate head sculpt, which is going to be nice. Kit bashing him. You can put him into civilian clothes or something to that effect. Because if I remember some of the scenes where he was in the movie, he wasn't in a uniform, right? And he has a devilish grin here. I don't know my opinion on this. He looks a little, I don't know. What do you think? Does that look like him? Is it close enough? Is it not a chance? Willie Woodson, how you doing, man? I would have to say, by the way that the X-Men universe treated Quicksilver in regards to how he would travel through the element of air at the speeds that he traveled at. I think they did a pretty good job of that. I don't feel that the MCU treated the air with as much respect as it probably deserved. So I feel that they did a better job of explaining or requiring, if you will, Quicksilver's goggles and such. For him to be able to run at super speeds. Whereas Pietro was just able to take off, not worry about his eyeballs falling out of his head or drying out. So saying all that, here's his glasses. We have two fists here. We have two kind of relaxed or holding hands. And we have two, you could call them saluting hands or speed hands, flat hands. Looks like there's something that's going to be underneath this. Mm-hmm. We get a broken base. I don't know what's broken in it. And I don't think it pops open. There's definitely 6 screws underneath it. But something is rattling around in that. It says the speed silver on there. Of course, we know it's Quicksilver. And that's textured tiles. Very slightly textured in between each of the 6 tiles. The little groove there is depressed into it. So it is textured. I assume it's a tile floor. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be monitors on the wall. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm sorry. Comes with a crotch grabber in my favorite shape of the crotch grabbers. It goes in as such to now allow him to be able to stand without having to fight his ankles that appear to be super loose. And we get the other suit. So you can build either one of these. And I don't remember how he showed up in WandaVision. I think he showed up in regular clothes. These are the pants. 2 different materials. They feel rubbery. Not like a spandex, more like a wetsuit. And the coat made of the same material. Which will unzip all the way down, so you can open it up. And it's a very large tag to be able to pull to unzip it. So there's the insides of the coat. I think they did a good job with the coloring of the hair, but I'm not so certain this really looks like him. I'm going to have to revisit the show to figure out whether or not this really looks like him. For instance, that don't look anything like Zendaya. MJ. Michelle Johnson, not Mary Jane. Michelle Johnson. I think they colored the hair well. And maybe this looks like him. What do you think? Knees are pretty strong, which is nice. It's double jointed knee. So it wasn't the knees that were keeping him from standing up. Um, the hip's not bad. You know, the twist on the hip, a little loose here. That shouldn't keep him from standing up. The ankle's loose, but still stiff enough that it should be able to keep him standing up. So it's not the ankles really, or the knee, or the hips, or the hip joint. It's the waist. So this waist is way too loose, which is going to keep him from wanting to stand straight as the waist is going to move on its own and shift the weight of the figure around. So that's going to be a problem. And I would say that the fitment of this suit on the knees is pretty poor. I shouldn't be feeling like I'm looking at a figure right there. Your leg is not shaped like that. So, with that said, this would be a good candidate for a Feisening, even though you're seeing nothing seamless. But that's just a terrible look there. And I don't know. I would imagine if you Feisen this figure, you might get a better look there. I don't know, but it just doesn't look right. Even looking at it straight on, those knees are a mess. So it might be a good candidate for a Feisening. Which I think I've only Feisened Captain America, right? And the problem I encountered was the neck, because Cap came with a head attached to a neck. Well, the good thing is this head has no neck, so it should be able to attach it to the Fison, or whatever figure it is that you decide to use for that. And there's a neck in here, which might help me with my Captain America, which I've never been able to get together properly after Fisoning him, because I've not been able to find a neck that I like. So maybe we will. I got my. Hold on now. So I put my Captain America together with the head on it, but then I had a Captain America that I couldn't put onto the other one because I borrowed the head from that to do this, and all I had was a Captain America head and neck, or something. I don't remember what the whole problem is now anymore. Got a cap here with no neck. I have a neck here that don't fit. Got a cap here with a neck, and I've got a cap body over here without a head. That is a Hot Toys body that wasn't Fisoned, and I've not been able to find a suitable head neck replacement that I've been happy with. I don't like this pissed off Steve, and this neck don't work well, so it's just been a mess, because Cap shouldn't look like that. All right. Where are my male bodies? Buried. They're buried. I really need to get to work in this room. For real, I do. Goodness. Not been able to find my screwdrivers, my jeweler set of screwdrivers. I mean, I can go down to the hardware store and buy a new set, which I probably ought to do anyhow. And of course, you know how Murphy's Law works in that regards. As soon as I would buy a new set, the old set would show up. Happens every time. Happens every time. Yeah, he definitely needs to be Fisoned or something, because that's terrible. And I would imagine the same thing would happen with this. So now the question becomes, which suit do I want to use, right? I have no other X-Men figures that I can remember. Okay, you could say Deadpool was a member of the X-Men. Or a trainee. And of course I have Cyclops. Not Cyclops. Gosh darn it. Oh my God. What the hell is wrong with me? Jesus. I'm having a Joe Biden moment. He was called the Steel when you bought it for Toys R Us. What the hell is it? Colossus. Now, I think they did a better job with Colossus in Deadpool than they did with Colossus in the X-Men movies. So I have the Colossus. I have Deadpool. I have Justin Bieber, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Warhead, Supersonic figure. So I guess I do have some X-Men figures. So I guess I can't really say I don't have any X-Men figures. Silver Surfer is really a Fantastic Four line. Wasn't an X-Men, was he? Didn't he work for Galactus? Is that who he worked for? Cable. Got Cable, of course. I wouldn't call him an X-Man either. I guess he kind of was, right? So I guess I do have some X-Men figures. So what setup should I go with? That's the question. Because really I got them to go with WandaVision. So I'm going to try to recreate that appearance. And then go with one of these. Whichever one I think is going to be a better fit for him. Or hell, maybe even try to track down another head and do 3 of them. Who knows? I'll open up this figure base and see what's wiggling around in there. Lindsay Sterling figure. Ooh. Now make sure I'm understanding correctly. Lindsay Sterling, isn't that the violinist? Is that who that is? Is that who Lindsay Sterling is? Or are we talking about... Isn't that who that is? Or am I wrong? Is Lindsay Sterling the violinist? Maybe I have no idea who you're talking about. Late to the party. Well, welcome, CBS Sci-Fi. Welcome. CBS Sci-Fi, I finally got my rescue from Sideshow. I think you were the first person that sent me pictures of your Pepper Potts rescue that you received back in like February. It wasn't that long ago. It was a long time ago. So Sideshow Collectibles has delivered rescue suits to everyone who has bought one, evidently. Because I'm always the last person to get one. So it's the only logical explanation. There's no other reason why they would deliver it to me, other than the fact that they've delivered it to everybody else and they were standing around with one left on the shelf and they're like, hey, who the hell ordered this? I don't know. What's the name on it? Siri Emerald? I don't know who that is. Leave it there a little while longer. I got my rescue from Big Bad Toy Store a couple months back, I believe it was. Maybe a few weeks ago, I don't remember. She's up here in the front, so it wasn't that long ago. I don't have any idea what this is. It might just be flashing. I think it's just a piece of flashing. It's interesting looking in this and seeing the versatility of it. So this is the bottom, and it looks like there's a little area here where you could possibly screw a pole into it. You'd have to make a hole, obviously, in the top of this to do that with. But also, there's a hole there, a little round hole, which could also be for putting a pole in. I don't know if you can see it there through that side. It's right here. You can definitely see it on that side. So if you're creative enough, you could use this for different positions of such. Maybe a solid pole would work in there. Maybe glue a nut on top of it, this size, to screw this into it. Dunno. Two of those screws fell out. It's funny, when I went to the movie theater on Thursday, and I enjoy the theater experience. I understand how it works. I know that they're not making any money on ticket sales for the most part. They have to bid, or used to be. They had to bid in order to get the first run movies playing at their theater. I'm sure now the big ones like Cinemark, AMC, Century, UA, whatever theater business is still out there, Tinseltown, I think they're all starting to be gobbled up into one. They probably don't have to go through that process anymore. They probably already have a pre-arrangement with them in regards to how much of the receipts that they give to the producing companies. And so depending on how much money they promise to give directly to the producing company determines whether or not they get the first run or if they're a second release theater house. And I can tell you with streaming now, streaming's been around for a long time, truthfully, but with streaming coming out like the same day the movie drops, second run theaters are going to have a real hard time attracting customers to their theaters. They're going to have to continue doing the things that they do a lot of times, which are dinner theaters or $1 movies or whatever, something real cheap just to get something in. I dropped the screws, two screws out of that. I don't see where they went to. One of the bags I dropped the other day. I need to spend time in this room cleaning this up. I need to clean the whole house. It looks the way that it did, well, except for being clean. It looks the way that it did the night my wife died. For the most part, I've not moved anything. I've cleaned the house, or paid someone to clean the house regularly. But I've not moved, for the most part, anything. So I just had that screw right there in my hand and I just dropped it again. I just haven't felt like doing anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't feel like doing much of anything, to tell you the truth, anymore. Depression's a bitch. Don't be fooled. Just because someone seems happy doesn't mean that they're not suffering from depression. And yeah, I have some really fun moments. I laugh. I enjoy myself, not ending my life. But I just don't feel very motivated. If that makes any sense. And I just need to get with the program. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you join the military, right? There's a reason why they send you to boot camp. Because you don't have any discipline. A lot of people don't. So they have to teach you to be disciplined, right? When you go to boot camp, they teach you everything. I mean, they assume you were raised by wolves. They teach you how to brush your teeth, how to wash your body, how to dress yourself, how to tie your shoes, how to lace your shoes, how to put a belt on, how to wear a tie around your neck, how to button your shirts, how to zip up your pants, how to wash your hair, how to cut your hair, how to fold your clothes, how to make your bed. They literally assume that you're raised by wolves. And that way, later on, something comes up, you know, you're a mess. You don't look very kempt. Shirt's wrinkled, unbuttoned, no belt on, shoes not laced and tied properly. You can't say, I didn't know how to do that. No one ever taught me. They teach you. Screwed that screw in. I was going to move it. Can't find the other one. Might as well screw it back in because I can't unscrew it. Let me try unscrewing it all the way. It's out of the teeth. There we go. Let's put it in this other corner. So that's what was in there bouncing around. I don't have any idea what it is. I think it's just a piece of flashing that just wasn't thrown away in the quickness of them assembling this. What have I got going on up here? I wasn't doing anything with my MJs, right? Got my joy done, right? I have a bunch of Star Wars figures in here I've never unboxed. Let's get one of them out. So I ordered a this is an IOU 3000 Iron Man with the little chest piece that comes out, so it's a body that you can light up to build your Iron Man. I think I ordered 3 of those. I don't remember. Anyhow, when Ordered the land speeder because I thought it was the coolest thing on the planet. And it definitely tells a Star Wars story. And, you know, when you're collecting these figures, you're trying to remind yourself of a scene or an event or a movie or an actor or actress. You're trying to remind yourself of something that was a joyous memory to you or something that you enjoy thinking about. And this is a good way of creating that memory by looking at this and being reminded of a scene or an actor or actress or a movie. So when I saw the land speeder, first thing that came to my mind was the scene on Tatooine when Luke and Ben go to um, what's the name of the city? The airport, spaceport, and of course the stormtroopers are there looking for the droids, which they have on the back of the land speeder, and Luke and Ben and C-3PO and R2-D2 are on the land speeder, and they stop them. A group of stormtroopers stop them and ask them how long they had the droids. They said they had them for a little while, and Ben says they're for sale if you want them. And then he says, "These are not the droids you're looking for." And it's the first time we saw the Jedi mind trick in that very first movie, Star Wars. These are not the droids you're looking for. And so that's a very memorable and relatable scene. Everybody knows the Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you're looking for. Or maybe it's the other way around. But so I decided I'm going to recreate that scene. So I need a Ben Kenobi, I need a Luke Skywalker, I need an R2-D2 and C-3PO, which I've got a ton of R2-D2s, and I need stormtroopers, black and orange and white, and not just stormtroopers, sand troopers, which are different than just traditional stormtroopers. I don't remember whether or not they were called sand troopers at that point. They probably were. I think I was only, gosh, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old, I think, when that movie came out. I think I was 11. And so I think I called them all stormtroopers. But actually they would have been, they're sand troopers. So I've been tracking down sand troopers. And I also have tracked down a dewback, which I've not unboxed yet. So I've got the blacks, the whites, and the oranges. And this was Sideshow Collectibles Sand Trooper Sergeant Tatooine with the white pauldron. Pauldron, right? Is that what they're called? Pauldron? The little shoulder pads that differentiate their rank or position in the Imperial Army. So I have not taken this out of the box. I don't remember whether this was supposed to be brand new or not when I bought it. This is from several years back. 2009 is when Sideshow made this, and it actually says Sideshow Collectibles in association with Hot Toys. So Sideshow had the license to manufacture Star Wars figures in 1/6 scale. I think I'd heard, maybe one of you can correct me if I'm wrong, about in 2018 or 19, Sideshow lost that license. Maybe I'm wrong. And Hot Toys started cranking them out at that point. And that's when we got our R2-D2 from Hot Toys. Hot Toys promised us a C-3PO, which we've never received. So the C-3PO comes from Sideshow. So I don't know if they've got that license back or what all happened there. But I don't remember when I bought this one, whether it was brand new or used. I think a lot of these I bought were used, but I've never unboxed any of them. So Let's get this White Pauldron Sergeant Sand Trooper out of the box. I originally was just going to buy some of these El Cheapo, what are they, like $12 figures. And I bought like 2 of them, and they are so cheap. Oh, they're pathetic. And I tried to convince myself that that was acceptable for a background figure. Yeah, that ain't going to work. But no, I'm going to need something the size of a kitchen table or a dining table to display this land speeder with Luke and Ben and R2D2 and C3PO on it, and the sand troopers surrounding the vehicle. To do it right. Right? Moss Isley Spaceport. Thank you. Yes, she is the violinist, Lindsay Sterling. I believe I've heard many of her performances on YouTube. Let's see. I saw her in concert this summer and wanted to create a custom figure for her. Beautiful, Daggerances. Beautiful. That's beautiful. I'd like to see that when you complete it. Send it to me in Facebook Messenger. I think she plays pretty amazing violin. When I was a child, public school system that I grew up in, if you wanted to play a musical instrument in school, which I thought I wanted to do, you had to play a stringed instrument for 1 year. So I took violin for a year when I was, oh goodness, how old was I? 8 years old was when you would start in the actual performing in the group. So we had to start in strings. So at 8 years old, I was taught how to play the violin. And then I decided I wanted to go to the brass instruments. So at 9 years old, I learned how to play eventually several brass instruments, trumpet, French horn, baritone, B flat and E flat trumpet, B flat and E flat trumpet, French horn and baritone. Got a lot of accessories here. Figure out of the box first. So I can definitely respect a violinist. I've also have learned how to play piano and acoustic guitar. Taught 3 languages, French, German, and Spanish. By the way, I'm going to guess that this is used. I don't remember. I probably bought this 2 years ago, to tell you the truth. I do like this. This looks cool. First time I've seen anything along this line. Curious what all it'll fit. And I definitely love this. This is great for any female figure, for fact. Because it's not... I don't like putting these two little black balls between their thigh. You know, they're not balls, they're little rubber caps at the end of the wire thing. So when you have, you know, this crotch grabber, you have these two little black balls that are right there. So when you're using that for, you know, your female figures, it just looks off. So I enjoy using these to grip around their waist. I do not like these shaped pieces. I'm curious if this will fit in this. Ooh, we may be onto something here. It's close, but no cigar. It is close, but no cigar. But that's all right. We can use this. Problem with these, you see, is the this tension that is on this, okay? Breaks these apart, splits it right here at the seam, and this just busts open. I've got probably 3 or 4 of these that have just broken right in half. And I've glued them and taped them back together and all sorts of stuff. Most of the time I just wrap it with tape, which will hold it back together. You could use electrical tape, which is black, and you won't even notice it. But the glue doesn't seem to hold it. So we're going to take this waist grabber, put it on our Miss Marvel here. Use a crotch grabber for Stormtrooper. And I just think that's a better way of presenting your female figures on a figure stand. Personally. So I guess, you know, when I bought this, and again, I don't remember, I'm sorry. I didn't care too much whether or not he was in perfect condition. I'm not going to be overly critical on this, if he is or is not, because he's really fluff. I think I may have bought these off for around 100 or 200 bucks a piece. Thinking probably around 100 or something. One or two of them I think was a little more expensive than normal, based on rarity of them. But I did get the whole collection of however many pieces that I needed, however many orange, black, and white. I don't remember at the time, but I made sure to watch the scene over and over again to make sure that I had the right number of sand troopers for that. very interesting base. I don't believe I've seen anything like this before. So there's our sand trooper. So these fists that are on him are, the right hand is a trigger hand and the left hand is a grasping hand. These other two hands are a left hand trigger and a right kind of relaxed, possibly holding something hand. It's pauldron, right? Is that what this is called? It goes over the shoulder? We got pouches. We got pouches, man. Deadpool will be very excited about that. Pouches. I don't know what most of this stuff is. I'm sorry. Um, this appears to be a baton. I don't do. This is the backpack that they carry around on Tatooine. Sand troopers. This is a something that does something for something. I don't know what. With a little thing there on the side. Maybe it attaches to this somewhere. I don't know. We'll have to research that. little docking station on the back of this backpack, which matches the back of the stormtroopers. Isn't that interesting? I did not know that. Come on, you Star Wars fans. I imagine most of you knew that that was there. You knew that was there, but did you know that was there? The very reliable Stormtrooper blaster. It's a good looking weapon. A lot of detail on that. I like it. Oh ho ho, folding stock. Ho ho ho. So I don't know exactly how this last portion goes on there, but the stock unfolds. Little metal ring on the back of it there to put a strap on. But the stock just unfolds, just pull it forward. And snap it there. Something along that line. Looks like this possibly snaps in right there. Look for the other metal ring to see where the strap goes. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And holy smokes, look at this. For the sharpshooting stormtroopers, a sniper rifle, right? Something to that effect. Did they ever even use this? What the hell did they hit with it? Nothing? You know, stormtroopers can't hit the side of the barn. Everybody knows that. What the hell would they do giving them a sniper rifle? Doesn't make any sense. Did they ever explain that anywhere? Why it is that they suck so much at shooting anything? You know, when I was a kid, I bought the, oh goodness, I forget how tall they were, 4.5 inch figures from Kenner, right? So it's nice now having these in 12 inches, high quality. I mean, you certainly couldn't get too excited about the quality of those small figures. I remember my R2-D2 had a paper sticker on it. And of course, I had the original Jawas with the vinyl cape. Hated that vinyl cape. Hated it. Hated it. When the new one came out with a cloth cape, I could not wait to buy that. No idea what happened to all my Star Wars figures. I'm sure my family just threw them away. Or gave them to somebody. Probably the whole lot of them for $1. See if we can find a picture on this box of how he used to be dressed. Plenty of pictures on here. Plenty of pictures, actually. Catch up on chat. Oh, come on now. Are you kidding me? So it appears that there's a little strap there underneath that. Just knocked over my Ronin. I've got to do something with this room. That's all there is to that. Hate this laptop. Hate it. Oh, okay, here we are. I'm assuming this goes over the neck, and then this goes under the arm, right? Or vice versa. By the way, this is the shape and the size that Tony Stark's helmets should be, right? Truthfully, when you really get down to it, right? And I'm assuming then that this strap goes around the arm as well, because it appears that this attaches over this shoulder here. Does this go this way or this way? I'm betting this way. Well, I would have to go that way, obviously, because of the docking station there, right? Oh, joy of joys. The strap came unstrapped. Oh, do not like free strapping these. This is actually strapped incorrectly on this side. That's why this came out. What they've done is run it up and down. Simple as that. Um, when in all actuality, the way it should go is they went from the closest hole back down into the bottom hole, when in all actuality, the way that it should go would be for it to go um, through the back hole, the hole furthest away from it, the end, and then down through the front hole. Right? Isn't that right? So that the webbing material pulls against itself. I'm gonna need tweezers to reload this. And my reading glasses. Yeah, it's not getting reloaded right now. So I can get my computer to respond to the chat. Working on VTS Justice Judge Dredd. Got a Stallone head scope, so trying to get a 2 Dredd to hit bash, one with helmet, one Stallone head scope. Nice. I did see the second trailer of Spider-Man, and it's exciting. I wished I hadn't. I want to be surprised. I don't want to go into the movie knowing everything that's happening in this movie. Moss Isley Spaceports, thank you very much. Universal K and CBS Sci-Fi. What's this? Robert says, do that to a porn star, a Jedi mind trick. You want to sleep with me? I don't owe you $20. Waves hand. Jedi mind trick. Oh my goodness. I'm not reading that, Robert. Can I play violin good? No. Jill Dillon, how's it going? Stormtrooper, right? So many pouches, you gotta love it. Jay Beats, how's it going? Did I watch? I have not watched the this century Battlestar Galactica. I've not seen a single episode of it, not one. I have always wanted to, just never got around to it. The TV show, and so yes, what do you think of it? My brother recommended me watching it. I've heard a lot of people say it was good. Of course, I watched the old 1970s Battlestar Galactica. Needless to say, obviously everyone did back then. Um, so I remember that. I really like the TV show. Are there any sci-fi TV shows you recommend? Yeah, I recommend um, Firefly and the follow-up movie Serenity. I recommend Lex. I recommend um, Doctor Who. I recommend um, Farscape. Let's see what else comes to my mind. Red Dwarf. Recommend that. That's some good homework for you. So look up Red Dwarf. That's a great comedic sci-fi story. Lex, really interesting way of thinking about the universe. Farscape, a really interesting way of looking at the near future and the universe. Firefly, a beautiful way of looking at the universe. An absolutely remarkable show Firefly was, and the follow-up movie Serenity. Doctor Who, I don't remember much of the 60s, 70s Doctor Who's, but definitely David Tennant and all of these that started this century. The Doctor Who's, I recommend watching those, and along with those the spin-off shows. I forget what it was called. I think there's been at least one spin-off from that, but that's what I recommend. That should get you plenty of sci-fi genre to watch without naming the obvious like Star Trek. But for fact, I'd probably start with Firefly. I really enjoyed Firefly, and it's only like 13 or 16 episodes. It was fell victim of the writer's strike, I think is what happened to it. I think that's why it stopped. I don't know really what the whole reason was that they didn't continue on with the story. And it was made by the guy that did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, um, Josh Whedon, is the creator of Firefly, and it's really good science fiction. So Gene Roddenberry pitched Star Trek to um, the movie studios, television studios back in the day, saying it was wagons west to the stars. Right? I would say that Firefly is for fact a Western science fiction space show. And it's really neat, very well done, very well, beautiful universe created in the Firefly universe. Really believable, really, really nice. And it's one of those pieces of work that all of us would hope that they would make a sequel to it, but none of us want them to, because even with all of its unanswered questions and all of its open-ended theories and all of this beautiful world that was created and characters that were given us and such a potential of story after story from it, given what the cancel culture has done with Star Wars, I wouldn't want them to touch Firefly at all and just leave it at the masterpiece that it is or was. Truly, Firefly, in my opinion, is a true masterpiece. It really is, absolutely is. And the follow-up movie Serenity, absolutely, totally. They let Luke and Co escape. They would have sniped their head easily. They just put a tracker on the ship to find the rebel base. The Expanse is also really good. I've not heard of that one. Holy straps, right? I watched Firefly. I like it. Good, good. Yeah, Firefly is. Oh my God, Firefly is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thanks. You really should watch Battlestar Galactica. I've been told that before. One of these days I'll have to get around to it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I guess I've wrapped this up about as far as I've go. I kept you guys here about 2 hours, and I really appreciate you guys chilling out and hanging out with me. I love our Saturday get-togethers. You guys are my family. I love you to death. One of you, I have received a package of snacks and goodies, cookies and chips, cakes and pies from Scotland. So I'm going to be sampling those very interestingly created delicacies that are not provided here in the United States. And that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. If any of you are from over there, I'll tell you some of the things that I got. Quavers, if you know what that is. Some Cadbury buttons. Aaron Brew. Bunch of stuff. Bunch of chocolates. Toffee crisps. What else? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that they just don't have here in the States that I've been able to see. So it'll be interesting to taste these regional foods, snacks and such that are evidently quite popular in Scotland. Not the Emerald Isles. Now, they might be in the Emerald Isles as well. Scotland is not the Emerald Isles. I don't give a damn what Barack Obama says. Scotland is not the Emerald Isles. I think Sean Connery was Scottish, wasn't he? Anyhow, I have a P.O. box if you guys want to send me anything. Normally it's listed in the description below. Love you guys. Those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving, that will be next week. Maybe you're going to go see family you haven't seen in a year or so. Maybe you're just going to be having a big feast yourself with your immediate family. Maybe you won't be doing anything. I have absolutely zero plans. And many parts of the world don't even have this type of a family familial holiday. This is really what Thanksgiving has been. They all want to try to focus on the meaning of it. And really, it's just a time when people would get together with a family that you haven't seen all year long. It's really all it is. Keep all the politics to yourself and just enjoy eating a lot of food, turkey, cranberry sauce and cranberry jelly and stuffing and sweet potatoes and pies, and just enjoy family. Just enjoy each other while you still have each other, because life is short. Enjoy it. So guys, I will see you next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. It's next Thursday, and I'll see you Saturday. Peace, guys. Love you all. See you in the next video.